Hello, icons and future icons, to our webinar. Today, it's all about attraction. I have invited the biggest rock stars in all of EXP to come and just pour into you guys to add value to you. I can't tell you how excited I am about our time with Rob Flick, with Gene Frederick. Brent Gove is going to be joining us as well. You guys, I'm just so honored that you've taken time out of your busy schedules. I mean, Gene, you left the board of directors meeting to be here today. Thank you. Rob Flick, you had to cancel all kinds of other things to be here today, to add value to everybody who wanted to listen to what you had to say. Now, you guys have undoubtedly mastered the art of attraction. And I want these guys to get to know you a little bit. And Rob, we're going to start with you. I want you to just tell us your story, man. How did you get into real estate in the first place? How did you get into EXP? How did you know this thing was going to blow up the way that it did?
My story, how I got into real estate. I was in the Navy. After I got out of the Navy, I couldn't get a job. And so I got my real estate license. And then I started with Coldwell Banker in the commercial realm, which I really enjoyed, and had a really great beginning. And then I thought I had it made, quite frankly, in my late 20s. And then I got cancer. And in my early 30s, ended up in the hospital, couldn't work for 4 years. I was in and out of hospitals for a couple of years and lost everything and went bankrupt. And while I was during that period of time, I thought the doctors were saying it didn't look good for time-wise. They told me to get my affairs in order. But what they said, what I wanted to do was create I didn't know the term residual. I wanted to have an income, a passive income that was $100 a month more than it cost me to live, so I could live full time for whatever time I had left. And the doctors were saying it wasn't much, so I had to get it done. And so I ran across in early, what was it? Gene, do you remember when I was at Keller? It was in 1997, I think. And I ran across Keller Williams, and I ran across a lady named Althea Osborne, who had been with the company 15 or 16 years. She was making $55,000 a year in profit sharing. She was a $5 million producer. So she was grossing 150, making 55 in profit sharing. I wanted to have 100,000. That's what I thought my number was, passive, and she was making half what I thought I needed. And it took her 16 years, and I didn't think I had 30 years to get it done. So I met with her to find out what was going on, and I found out that she really hadn't made sponsoring and growing part of her business plan. It was sort of haphazard for quite a while. She got very focused later on, but in the beginning, it was just, things happened. And so I thought, what a difference if I made it part of my business plan. And so that happened. And so when my profit sharing got to $25,000 a month at Keller, I retired. And I've been living on that I've been getting that for almost 22 years. And then about 6 years ago, that fateful, rainy, stormy night, Gene Frederick cornered me in at his lake house. And he's always been a sharer. And I had been avoiding him for 3 or 4 days, trying to not really hear about this new thing that he had done. And but he finally grabbed a bottle of scotch, 4 cigars, and I went out to the porch and I followed him. He followed the scotch and the cigars. And it really was raining outside. And Gene started talking, as I remember it. Now this is, remember, there's scotch and cigars involved. So we started about 11:30 at night, and it was rainy and stormy and windy. And Gene had a stack of napkins, and he started drawing on them, and the wind was blowing them, and we were trying to catch them and keep them in order. And as I remember it, around 4:30, I finally said, I think this is going to change the whole real estate world. And I said, I'm going to have to tell my wife that I think we're going to do this thing. And that's how it got started, really. And it was really interesting because Gene told me, he said, if you do the same thing, Rob, at EXP as you did at Keller, he said, instead of 300,000, it'd be 5 to 10 million. And sure enough, it is. And it's exactly what he said was going to happen. Now it's way beyond that. And now other people coming behind us are doing that very same thing. So that's an exciting thing. So that's how I got started.
Rob, you know what that is, by the way?
What's that?
It's winning, brother. It's
It's
winning.
winning. There's no
I love
question.
it when you're winning, man. Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go. All right. So, and by the way, just so you all know, I want you to get your mind around this, okay? In Rob's revenue share group, within his 7 levels, 17,500 plus agents, guys. Think about that. Get your mind around that. That's winning, guys. That is winning. All right, we're going to go to Gene Frederick. Come on, man. I got to hear your story. Come on, enlighten everybody. You and I go way, way back, by the way. I love your story. Tell it. Oh, and you're on mute, brother.
You're on mute, Gene.
There we go now. No,
There you go, man. All right.
all right, here we go. Sorry, I'm in the passenger seat. And Sean, you and I go way back. Of course, Rob and I go way, way back to the KW days. I started at Remax in the 80s, opened up my first company in 1989. It was called Realty Executives. I owned the Dallas-Fort Worth area, grew that to a couple hundred agents, and realized that brokerage thing was not as much fun as most people like to say it is.
Isn't that the truth?
And I sold that in 1994. I always tell people that was the best decision I ever made, was sell the franchise. And then I went to a small little company called Keller Williams. My wife and I were 2 of the first 10 agents in all of Dallas Fort Worth.
Wow.
And we loved Keller. I saw Rob I love when Rob and I get on these things together, because we go so back. I saw him do the first profit share presentation in Dallas in 1997. And he was the first one to me to actually make profit share seem like a reality for people. Thank you, Rob. And he can present things in a way that people can understand them simply. Well, I was still an agent there. Keller Williams franchises. I started getting into the franchise game. Boy, the first time did I. And when you do something like that, I said, that's the only model I knew. It's the only model Rob knew. It's the only model you knew, Sean, is franchise world.
That's right.
Go get your little piece of passive by buying franchises. Be the owner. That's where the money went. Let's face it. In our business, the money off the top, the royalty fees, right? The company dollar, all goes off the top to who? The owners.
Yeah.
That's why we did it.
Right.
So, 6.5 years ago, Rob talks about his meeting with me. I talk about my meeting with a tall guy named Glenn Sanford, who, when I first met him, I went, it's a true story. He laid out this model. The company had 300 agents. This is in the fall of 2014, and it had 300 agents. The stock was 18 cents a share.
Huh.
But I literally went to Glenn. I said, "What, do all the agents get stock?" And he goes, "Yes." He says, "Yeah, gee, that's what the whole thing is about. It's about the agents, not about the owners." And I went, "Dude, if this is real, you've just changed the whole industry." And of course, 5 months later, I'm an analytical guy, just like a lot of people that are here on this podcast. I'm very analytical. Took me 5 months to analyze it. By the time I went, you know what? I'm going to hop in. I'm going to sell everything I spent 21 years building. I'm going to sell it all. I'm going to burn the boats. And let me tell you, Sean, you and I talked about it. It's not an easy discussion with your wife, just so you know. Guys, I don't recommend you to do this. But my close with Susan was, I'm the same age that Colonel Sanders was when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. Hey, Robbie, it worked. So I literally sold everything in 5 weeks. Could not believe everybody wanted to buy that stuff, which, they do. It's the only ownership you've got. And by that time, the stock was 30 to 40 cents a share. Already thought I blew it. It was 18 cents a share when I first heard about it.
You're too late.
And too late. Isn't it funny, Brent, how we talk about it? We still get the same discussions now, don't we? It's too late. It's the stock's at $44 a share. Oh, I just blew it. I said, we're just starting. So I think what's different about mine, and I want to tell folks, because I was on a podcast yesterday, and somebody said, what's the hardest when you were down in the dumps and you made a decision to change your life? I got news for you. I wasn't down in the dumps. I want to talk about a decision I made.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, yeah.
Exactly.
People would not make.
Here
I
you go.
wanted to grow.
All right, we're going to put Gene on hold for a second. We're going to come back to Gene.
MIT.
So, Gene, I don't know if you can hear me, brother, but you're getting really choppy there. I think you're in the middle of a jungle.
If you cut your video, your voice will come through perfect. Turn your video off and we'll hear you better. Did we lose him?
Yeah, he may
I don't
not.
know.
There you go.
Hey,
Is that
all
help?
right.
Hey,
Yeah,
there
that
it is.
helps. Keep
That
talking.
helps,
Gene.
that helps a lot.
I look much better with that picture. I
Yes,
look
you
a
do.
lot better with that picture.
Grecian formula really works.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Sean. My biggest decision was when I was at the peak of my game. My biggest decision was when I was doing really, really well. And a lot of people have got to look at their lives and not go, how can it be better? How can I help more people? And realistically, you don't have to be in a dumps to make
No.
a change.
You don't. You don't. That's exactly right. In fact, I was president of MAPS Coaching, Keller Williams MAPS Coaching, and MAPS Business Training when Gene made the announcement that he's shifting from Keller Williams over to EXP. I thought that this dude's out of his flipping mind. What is he thinking? I thought, this is great. He's lost his marbles. What is going on? And yet, here I sit today wishing I just reached out to Gene back then. Said, what did you see? Why did you do that? Guys, what if we all made that decision? Think about that. Stock at 18 cents a share. Are you kidding me? Who would have thought in February it would hit over $179 per share? Wow.
And then split.
And then split. Exactly. No doubt about it. All right. So, Brent, great segue over to you, buddy. Tell us your story, man. Let them get to know you a little bit. Hey, by the way, everybody do me a favor. Just type in the chat. Where are you located at? I want to see that. I want to be able to go back and review these notes and check out where everybody's from. Do that real quick.
All right. Well, I'm located out in Puerto Rico. So I live out here in the Caribbean. I see St. Thomas right across the ocean there. It's beautiful. I'm out here with Gene and with Rob. Whoa, the chat is blowing up. So that's you can't even read it. It's going
I'm trying.
it's like that computer in Russia that plays chess, deep blue or whatever. So anyways, but Gene went back to 1989. I'm going to take you back to 1966. I was born in San Diego. 1976, moved to Sacramento. 1984, graduate from high school. 1985, go off to a private Bible college up north, Chico State. Anyone from Northern California knows that was the #1 party school in America. And that's exactly why I chose it. And then, funny enough, I find God. I become a Christian. I fall in love with Jesus. I become a Christian up there at that #1 party school. Most people lose their soul, and I found mine. And then, got involved in business and sales, enter real estate 1996. Got involved in real estate in the market crash. All I sold for 2 years were HUD homes, boarded up, HUD homes. If you had $500 in a job, you could buy any home in Sacramento. I'm talking 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage with the pool, granite counters for $500. Any home, job, $500. Please buy a home. And they were I was selling big, nice, expensive homes. It was 2 years before I broke into the luxury market. Yeah. I sold a home for $128,000 in 1998. All the homes I sold were $58,000, $68,000, $78,000. I remember doing open houses and they got to be $88,000, $95,000 house. People like, this is outrageous. These stupid Bay Area buyers driving up the price of our real estate. Who would pay this? They're fools. And it's kind of like COVID-19, right? This is insane. Well, anyways, those homes now are all, $500,000. We should have bought them by the dozen back then at 58 and 68 a share, a house. And then, went to work for Remax for my first 12 years. Really liked it. And then I left Remax in 2009 in the crash. I got so desperate in the crash that I tried the dark side, Keller Williams. And so I had done really well at Remax. I was selling 400 homes a year at Remax. Remax was pounding on my door. And I'm like, I'm sure you're that great company. I don't deny that, but I'm doing okay at Remax. I'm pretty happy here. Leave me alone. I'm good. Love you guys. Wasn't rude and by any stretch, but I'm like, I'm happy. Like Gene said, like Rob said, Rob was retired. Gene was happy. I'm happy. But they finally got me going to stuff. And by 2009, I did take the plunge. Remax Gold said it would destroy my career. It would destroy my life, destroy my sales. If I lost my mind, kind of like Sean said about Gene, at least he just thought that. But they actually said this stuff to me, how horrible. I mean, some paint company, Sherman Williams. I go, no, it's Keller Williams and KW. And everyone was like, but you know what? I stayed 8 years, 12 years at Remax was good. 8 years at Keller Williams was great. I worked for a good company for 12 years. So in my opinion, Remax was good to me. Keller Williams was great. Remax was wrong. Keller wasn't destroying my career. They were in a league. They were 10 times better. My personal experience. You have yours. I have mine. It wasn't close. I plugged into Mega Camp, Family Union, all the classes, the training. I'm a student, a live student of real estate, blew my mind. Here I am 4.5 years ago, minding my own business, corner office, 120 million a year. Got my little boutique team of 18 agents, 6 listing specialists, 12 buyer specialists. I'm happy. Life's good. I'm dialed in. I'm making money. We're good. I take Fridays off and golf. I don't work the weekends, work 2 nights during the week, go on listing appointments, only work with listings. Enter Sheila Fairzeran and Rob Flick. And I mean, Rob, I can't publicly thank you enough for radically altering the course of my grandkids' life, my children's life, and my life. He poured into me month after month after month after month. He helped and helped and helped. He wore out his voice helping me. I remember that. Sheila's like, I got to go back to work. But we went after it, and like I do everything, and we got uncommon results. And because I was passionate about it, and I worked hard. And if you're not afraid of hard work, and so Sheila Fairzeran, my sponsor, and Rob Flick. And then I'll wrap with this. I go to San Antonio because like come to our annual convention, which by the way is this November. It's November 9th, 10th, and 11th in Las Vegas. You should come. Every one of you on there right now, there. Come, what a better place to come check out the culture of EXP, because it's not what you were told. It's like going to Ford, what do you think of Chevy? What do you think they're going to say? Or what do you think about BMW? What do you think they're going to say? Oh, we got way better cars than BMW, or BMW to Mercedes, so don't, your brokers told you what they told you because they don't want you to leave. Come to Las Vegas. That's our annual convention. There'll be 10,000 people there. Come meet Glenn Sanford, the founder. Come meet Rob Flick, Shon Kokoszka, Gene, the who's who. Everyone's going to be there. I went 4.5 years ago. There were 400 people in San Antonio. Rob Flick was there. Sean wasn't. He was still the president of Maps Coaching. But I was so impressed. And when it was all over, I found Gene and Rob going through that lobby with a box of cigars. Remember this, Rob?
Yeah.
We ended up on the Riverwalk smoking cigars. I don't know how to smoke them. I think I inhaled once. I'm like, I literally, you're not supposed to inhale, but I went to the #1 party school in America. We inhaled. Anyways, I cut that stuff out many years ago. It's been weeks, trust me, weeks and weeks. I'm kidding. So, but I did cut it out 35 years ago. But anyway, so we sat there, smoked cigars. I'm a Keller Williams ex-team leader, running my 18 agent team doing 120 million a year. And I just listened to Rob and Gene. I said, you know what? I'm joining these guys. They have good cigars and they are amazing human beings. I love this story. And Gene, thank you. I know, but you could turn your picture. We want to see your face. Since you're not talking, turn your camera back on. Then nobody knows you do that. Please. Gene Frederick, everybody, get him back on the screen. Since you're not talking, we can, because when he talks, this takes too much bandwidth since you're driving. But Gene, thank you for changing my life, for becoming one of my best friends in the world. Rob, thank you for changing my life. Nobody ever changed my life at Remax. Nobody ever changed my life radically at Keller Williams. These two men, or at least on the screen here, you're below me here, Sean's over here. You guys changed my life. And I thank you for that publicly in front of everybody. It's pretty cool. Anyways, I give it back to you, Sean. Sorry if I went too long there.
No, I loved it. And I love Charlie's comment, by the way. I don't know if you saw it in the chat. They called you Brent Clinton, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You did inhale. Okay, good stuff. So I got another question for you guys. Now, this is really important to me. Okay, I really want to understand the answer to this question. I mean, and guys, I just want you to know a couple of things. Number one, this is being recorded. We're going to blast this replay link all over EXP. I want you all to be able to experience just the charisma of all of these individuals and learn from their successes. Okay. Now, each one of these guys, and I hope it's okay that I say this, you're making over 8 figures a year, and yet you're still going, man. You're pushing hard. What's your why? What's driving you right now? Rob, let's start with you.
Well, every time when I do this presentation, when I see the light go on in someone's eye, that they get it, that they understand it, and then they put action behind it, and their family is affected in a positive way. I mean, that's why I keep going. I mean, it's not the money anymore. We'll keep the money, right? But I won't turn that down. But it is watching other people get excited and have hope. And as Gene says, making real estate fun again. And I say that, they have hope again, that they can really do something to create not only a lifestyle for themselves, but they really can touch generational wealth. That is something that I don't believe ever existed before in the residential world. And now it does. So that's what motivates me. It's how can I find more talented people to get out of the way of and just let them go succeed. And that's what I look forward to. I'm so excited about the talent that is coming aboard now. I never imagined. And because of the people that are coming aboard now, people like Brent and Gene, we're attracting people that are impactful not only in cities and states, but in other countries too. So I think we give hope to a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there we can do that for.
Awesome, Rob. Thank you so much. Gene, let's go to you, buddy. Hopefully you can come through crystal clear. Where are you, in Colorado?
Yeah, I'm in Colorado. Yep. If you can you hear me pretty clear right now?
I can, yes. Just me on I-70.
Okay. It's real simple to me. I'm not a Renaissance man. I've been in real estate 38 years, and I love real estate agents. Period. They're my peeps. I know how hard you work, guys. Gals. I've been there. 2 of my kids are realtors. This is 100% commission, and everybody thinks we're all making the big dough. Yep. And I got news for you. Through my years as a team leader, 12 years at Keller Williams, I paid a lot of house payments for people out of my own pocket. I paid a lot of car payments because I didn't want to see people go down. This is the only model I've ever seen where I could show you texts from people that will make you cry on this podcast, even though you're not even seeing it. You're just hearing it. Because we've changed agents forever. We're allowing them to create equity in their lives as if they were owners of the real estate company.
Well, they are.
And that's it just drives me. I don't see, Brett and I and Rob get together and we love to play golf. We love to have fun. I got news for you. We're making real estate fun again. Yeah. Whether you want it or not, we're making it. And our wives are getting together. And I mean, when I see Jen light up and Kathy light up and go, gosh, we're really helping people. I don't know why everybody, I'm never going to quit. I'm sorry. I don't understand quitting anyway. I don't understand retiring from helping people, period.
Love it. Very inspirational, Gene. Thank you so much. Brent, over to you, buddy. What's your why? What drives you? What keeps you going, man?
Man, it is seeing people light up. I mean, man, for 20 years, for decades, it was like, okay, I'm up to 50 sales a year. Let's get it up to 100 sales a year. Let's get up to 300 sales a year. It was like, do more, be more, have more, and let's raise our price from 400,000 to 700. Let's break into luxury. And that's all we knew. Let's open a title company, a mortgage company, a property management company. Let's grow the team. It was like, grow. And at EXP, actually, I encourage some people to sell less on purpose, create margin. And then we just did a conference in Dallas called the Build Conference. It wasn't a sales conference because there's a million sales conference by some really great people, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, Joe Stump, Craig Proctor. I could go on and on. Great people doing sales conference. How do we scale your business? How do we, and certainly building is scaling, but here's the difference. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. What I mean by that is as Rob Flick taught me so long ago, he's a genius. You can list 40 homes in the next 12 months and you'll work the rest of your life. It's a good thing you become a listing agent. You got to list the last. Who said you have to do this for 20, 30 years? Well, that's, don't you? No. How about you build something so cool you're done in 17 months? Because that's what happened to me. Within 17 months, my rev share was 100,000 a month. I'm like, I'm never listed another house. I love my sellers, but I love agents more. I used to impact the lives of first-time homeowners, of people buying their dream home and helping people sell their homes. I'd help the consumer. Now, Gene, Rob, Sean, we help agents. We help agents' kids. We help agents' families. A blast, man. Dallas was crazy over the hook. We're going to Cabo in March. People say it's the most fun event we've ever done. Puerto Vallarta, Rob and Gene through those things. In Las Vegas in November, we go to fun locations. We have a great time responsibly. We love each other. And people are so pumped. They have so much hope for the future. And so it just lights me up, man. It lights me up. I've never experienced anything like it. And I'll say this 5 years ago, because November 1st is my 5-year anniversary. Can you believe it, Rob and Gene? November 1st, 5 years. 5 years ago, I was going to lunch and putting for 2 hours at local golf courses because we were bored out of our minds. We had our systems dialed in. I had a big team, 6 listing specialists, and we're just putting. That was the impact we were having on people. I impacted 18 people in Sacramento, and we'd leave work early at 3 o'clock and putt for 2 hours till 5 at $5 a ball. We were bored. My talent went into putting at $5 a ball for like 2 or 3 years. I mean, and now it's like, man, let's go change lives. Anyways, probably a longer answer than you wanted, but there you go.
Powerful answer. Thank you for that. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to rewind the tape a little bit. I want to get into some actionable strategies, tactics that our audience can really just implement, deploy right now today to start getting more traction around attraction. Because I know each and every one of you, as do I want to see you all just blow it up. Seriously, blow it up, blow this company up. They say it's going to take 9 more years to get to 1 million agents. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think if you're motivated right now, if you're inspired right now, and you do what these brilliant people are going to tell you to do in a moment, we could probably make that happen in 5 years.
Imagine the value of the stock. I'll just leave that alone. 1 million agents, debt-free money. I mean, just you think the stock's good now, it's going to sound like it was 13 cents a share. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't say what it's going to be. I said, imagine. You do what you want. Okay, I'll stop. I'm pumped. It's going to be awesome.
I'll start off with the basics. Now, I'll let Rob go into his, of course, I tell everybody to do the Rob Flick wealth chart. I'll let him go into that. But first of all, just make your list of people that you'd love to work with. I think as agents, we spend all our time just selling homes like we've been talking about. You've got a time block, guys. I would time block 4 to 5 hours a week. Then I'm going to do nothing but text and call the people on my list. It's going to be that simple. 4 to 5 hours a week will change your life forever. The problem is you have to time block it. I mean, I'm a big time blocker. I learned that from Gary Keller years and years ago. And literally, if it's not in my schedule, I don't do it. Hug my wife, in my schedule. Tell her I love her, in my schedule. Just so you know, I don't mess up. You guys think it's crazy, but I wake up every day doing this stuff. If it's in my schedule, I'll do it. It's not that hard, guys. You're selling homes right and left. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Rob, take it from here, baby. Tell them about what they should do on their wealth chart. First of all.
All right. Well, what I will tell you to do is go to YouTube and search Rob Flick Wealth Chart Training. Rob Flick Wealth Chart Training. It's about a 26-minute video. It shows how to go from 0 to $500,000 a year in 3 years or less, taking no more than 4 hours a week, like Gene said, 4 hours a week, plugging into the system that we created. And I would watch that 5 or 10 times. I remember Brent telling his people they need to watch this over and over and over again. And then when you're really ready for the gold stuff, there's a 90-minute video that Brent filmed me. He hired a professional crew to film me talking to 400 or 500 agents of his in California. It's a 90-minute video on scripts, dialogues, what to do, what not to do, attitude, everything. And Brent's told me many, many times that is absolutely solid gold. And he can verify that. What I will tell you, my one little tidbit is I show this presentation to affiliates. to people who are not who are not real estate agents. And I will tell you, when I built Keller Williams 20 years ago, and including when I built EXP here, over 30% of all the people that are on my team that have come aboard have come from and because of affiliates. By example, in Texas, I showed this presentation to a mortgage person in Texas because I find that affiliates know and understand. They're like the confessors of agents. Agents tell the affiliates everything. So they know who's thinking about moving, who's thinking about changing, who's looking for something new. And when I after showing this to this loan officer in Texas, he said, "Wow, I know so many real estate agents that need to see this." He said, "I'm going to get you set up at this school, and I'm going to have you do a presentation there." And he did. He got me set up to go do that. Went out of his way to get me set up. I went there to do a presentation, and to do it during a break for 30 minutes. And who should be sitting in there but Sheila Fedgeron? And she saw the presentation. She got together with me and said, "We need to do lunch and talk about it." And then the next thing that she did is she called Brent, and Brent came aboard. And I will tell you that one connection from a loan officer has meant thousands and thousands of agents joining the company. So if anything, I would tell you is make sure, don't just assume that affiliates know this. Use them as a referral source. They know who is thinking about making a change. They know who the top people are. They know who are doing the deals. They know who's naughty and nice. And you just talk to them and get to know them.
Love it. So leveraging through your allied resource partners, your vendors, guys, they can make
Yes.
introduction after introduction. They know,
Yes.
by the way, they have thousands of agents in their database. They're constantly doing everything they can to identify those people, earn their business. They get into relationship with them. They know who's happy. They know who's unhappy. And if you can just plant yourself within their mind that, you're looking to expand your brokerage, who knows? They'll help you create opportunities, no doubt about that. Brent, how about you, buddy? Tactical, actionable strategies. What can somebody do? What can somebody say?
Actionable. I'll tell you what to say to people right now, but here's brentgove.com. You click on the agent attraction button. There's webinars, training. Click on training. I click on training, and you scroll through the training right here. This was live, and right here, you find this guy, Rob Flick, right there. Rob Flick, he's got the 30-minute version of what he was talking about and the 90-minute. You click the 90-minute, his wealth chart's there, the 90 minutes, all there. I have nothing to sell you. I'm not a coach. I don't sell coaching. There's nothing there but help. Is it for an organization? It's for all of EXP worldwide. And by the way, I saw a presentation on commercial. Commercial has, just this a side note, because I'm so excited. Commercial figured it out. Commercial's about to explode. Like, I can't even tell you, like a Mount St. Helens, you have no idea what's about to happen. And it's all being unleashed next week. I'm just telling you right now, the director of commercial is one of the most inspiring communicators I've ever met in my life. I think her name was Jennifer or something. She blew me out of my seat. I was with 27. I'm telling you, if you know a commercial agent, they have figured it out. It's taken 4 years. And I'm just telling you, wow. And so she's going to do a presentation for me next week. A side note. Okay. So what do? You go to Rob's, go back to Rob's YouTube channel. Do that. If you go back to Brent Gove under Agent Attraction, your first 30 days, there's the video, there's the handout, the system, how to attract. There's that. Oh, look, Jay Kinder's there. I got Gene Frederick there. He's there. They get all kinds of people. It's all there for everybody. This is Team EXP. This isn't our little group when we do this. This is for everybody. And we're going to have 1 million. And you're right. It's going to be quicker than 10 years. But, back then, that was just what I could see. 1 million agents in 100 countries in the next 10 years, probably going to happen in 6 or 7 years. So actionable items, enthusiasm. Zig Ziglar says the key to success is enthusiasm. Tony Robbins says it's your energy. So you're like, yeah, maybe you want to check out EXP. No, I don't, because you're boring.
Yeah.
And so, I'm over maybe exaggerating a little bit. Do I talk to people like this? No, but I want you to get it. What you're doing, if you're not getting results, is boring. Dial it up. Say, oh my gosh, you've got to check this out. It's going to, and life-changing. what do you know about EXP? Because everything you think you know, you don't. I need to meet with you, and then meet with them and watch Gene's 3 napkins approach. Rob's got his, I got my, whatever you like. Watch it with them. Don't email or text it. I watched it with people every day, once a day. Once a day brings rev share your way. Just made that up. But I did it, Monday through Friday, 5 a week, 20 a month. And every month, 5 signed up. And 5 months later, I signed up 25 people and it was done. There's a beginning, a middle, and end. Again, what Rob Flick says, you list 40 agents, you work the rest of your life. You'll make a living. You list homes. Go ahead. Were you saying something?
I'm gonna steal something from Brent because he's not enthusiastic enough. He said something the other day to me that's really key to everybody talking. That this is an attraction. Nobody's ever taught you how to do it. They taught you how to list homes and work with buyers. There you go. Momentum is the key, is it not? Momentum is the key. Here's what I'm gonna tell all of you all. Forget being normal. Forget being average. Go get 25 people in 100 days. I'm tired. Done. Momentum creates everything. That's what Rob did. I showed this to Rob. Rob goes, Gene, Dallas-Fort Worth is big. I could do a presentation every single day in a different market. And I said, yeah. And he goes, I think I'll just do that. I talked to Brent Gove. I go to meet Brent Gove and he sets me up appointments, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. The momentum he created and Rob created. These are the 2 guys I got to work with for the last few years. It's not normal. Don't say I'm going to go attract 1 person a month. Yeah, that'll be good. No, stop it. Remember the old Bob Newhart video? If you haven't, go pull it up today. It's funny. Stop it. And go attract. And you know what? I've told Susan when I did this and I sold all the offices and I went all that, I said, honey, I'm going to be out of balance for a while. She used to tell me, Gene, the phone's attached to your ear. That was the first 2 to 3 years here. Guess what? I had to do it. I had to create that momentum. And that word is so key. Brent, you talk about it. Rob, you talk about it. And it's something that we don't talk enough about because you just think, well, I'll just go get 1 a month. No, go after it, guys. Go for it. Okay.
No doubt. One of my favorite words, by the way, momentum. To me, it's the greatest magnifier on the face of the planet. Meaning when you lack momentum, you look 10 times worse than you actually are. When you possess momentum, guess what? You look 10 times better, don't you? Doesn't that feel good? All right. Now I'm going to put on my coach hat just for a second. And I want to talk a little bit about what I call the 4 R's. I think these are the 4 categories that we as revenue share builders, empire builders, really need to focus on. There's 4 categories. First is recruiting. Okay. Recruiting. And some of you say that's a bad word. I don't care. I love the word recruiting. Okay. Number 2 is retention. Once you get them to EXP, how are you going to keep them? Now, the model definitely helps you keep people. They get stock awards. They start building revenue share. They don't want to go anywhere else. I'm going to quote Gene Frederick here real quick. He said, Shon, if you own Coca-Cola stock, how much Pepsi do you want to buy? Once they get here, guys, they want to stay here. The model helps, yet you can also help them stay here. You understand? By pouring into them, adding value to them. The 3rd R is revenue, meaning per agent production. They come over to EXP, they don't sell a single house, they die in the vine, hasn't done you any good, them any good. Frankly, it was a waste of everybody's time. So what are you going to do specifically to help those agents improve their revenue? To go from FLA to FLQA, to go from quarter capper to half capper to full capper, icon agent, right? What can you do to help them? And the final piece of the 4 R's is reproduction. How can you pour into them? How can you help them get into action around attraction? I want to talk about these 4 R's with the most brilliant minds within EXP right here, right now. Number 1 strategy for recruiting. Brent, I'm going to start with you.
Make a list, that list of 100 names. It's right here in your phone. I never, ever went past G. Anyone I know, if they live past G, they're done. And I was done. I sponsored 48 people to the G's. So all the A's, Albert, Andy, Andrew. And then I'm like, oh, Andrew's a client. Andy's a buyer. Oh, Albert. I forgot about Albert from Century 21. Oh, he's cool, Albert. And I made my list immediately, like in one night. Go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, then they build a wealth chart. I did that. So again, number 1 strategy, make a list so that when you did carve out time to talk, like Gene says, he doesn't hug his wife or kiss her goodbye unless it's in his notes. You follow, you make a plan and you follow the plan. It doesn't matter what you feel like. Our teenagers don't feel like cleaning the room. Stop being a teenager. Suck it up, bootstrap it, do what it takes. Come on. And
make it happen. Okay. So
somebody else.
right, let's just get in a real situation. Okay. You and I, we closed a transaction 2 years ago together, right? I'm before G, you're going to call me.
Yeah.
You
No
call me
problem.
up. What do you say to me? Talk to me.
So, thank you for this coaching moment. I don't ever call anyone. I text you, Sean, Brent Gove, do you got a quick second? And then the worst thing in the world happens. He goes, yeah, what's up? And you guys start texting back. I'm like, dang, he answered, because you're like 10 seconds of courage. Hey, Bob, you got a second? Bob from Central, you got a second? He goes, yeah, what's up? You're like, crap, I got to do something now. I got to be brave now. And instead of answering, well, I wanted to talk to you about, do not text a response, call. He said he had a second, call. And then I call and I go, hey, Sean, how are you? Brent Gove, we did that deal on Castle Peak 2 years ago. How you been? Yeah. Are you still at Remax? Oh, heavens no, I'm with the Sotheby's. I'm at Keller Williams now. How do you like it? I love it. It's great. I'm killing it, taking over the world. Of course you are. You're like the most dynamic, amazing, superstar, best energy person I know, because I'm calling people with good energy, because I learned that from Rob Flick. He said, call people with good energy, pull nice people. Don't call the guy that's sucking on a lemon. Well, yeah, they're sucking on lemons. They're mean, nasty. There's some bad agents that didn't call those people. So long story short, I would call you, Sean, and I call you back and I go, so let me tell you why I called. Hard segue. I literally will say hard segue. Let me just pivot on you and tell you why I'm calling. I don't chat with you for an hour. I'm 30 seconds to a minute, baby. It's time. This is like speed dating, right? And I chat with you for a minute. And I say, you had to have heard about EXP by now. They're just taking over the world. Oh yeah, I know all about it. Or you'd be shocked. Even now, people go, I don't know much about them at all. I've seen stuff on Facebook, this and that. I says, well, let me tell you what. They're going to change real estate worldwide. They're already doing it. They're already valued more than Sotheby's, Coldwell Banker, Remax put together, and nobody knows. It's this unicorn company, and I'm telling you, they're going to do it. Amazon, Netflix, Uber, DoorDash. See my enthusiasm. Pick up your energy. Success is energy. Pick up your energy. I'm being a little radical right now, but I want you guys to get this. And then I said, Sean, it is imperative that you and I meet next week. I always put it off a week. Because if I ask for tomorrow and the next day, we're agents, we're type A, we're busy. I need you and me to meet next week for coffee. And I want to show you what's so cool about EXP. Can I meet with you next week? I'll buy a cup of coffee. I'll buy a breakfast, lunch. I like to do it in the morning before he gets busy. Notice I'm saying coffee, breakfast mainly. And then he goes, yeah, man, let's meet. Or they go, or they'll say, well, I don't want to leave Coldwell Banker, Brent. I don't want to leave Remax. I go, Sean, stay at Remax for 20 years. Stay at Coldwell Banker for 30. What I need is your opinion. I really respect you. And I want to know what you think of the model. And can we meet? I want to see what you think. I know what I think. I think it's amazing, but can we meet? Yes or no? Well, I don't know. I go, buddy, this is me you're talking to. Would you look at it for me? Okay, couldn't hurt. I cannot tell you how many times people said it couldn't hurt. I go, exactly, it won't hurt at all. We meet. I go, hey, you like Starbucks? You like Pete's? What's your favorite drink? Cappuccino, mocha, latte? Yeah, I'm going to bring some bagels. I get some breakfast burritos. We break bread together. It's important to share a meal with them. And you notice I'm not sending and texting. He doesn't even know. I'm just stop emailing the webinar. I say it all the time. You guys drive me crazy. I didn't do that. I watch it with people every single day. And then I was able to get them off their phones. They weren't writing an offer while they're watching, responding to an addendum, request repairs while they're watching. The kids were there with me, not in a restaurant, but in a mortgage company or title company in the conference room. Meet me at First American. Meet me at Chase Mortgage. I have a beautiful conference room. All bring breakfast. All bring the coffee. How do you like your coffee? Black, 1 cream, 1 sugar. Done. See you there. I get my laptop. Here's my laptop. And I hit play. We sit there and munch on a croissant, breakfast, fuel, coffee, and we rock it out. That is how you do this. If you'll do that every day for the next 30 days, you'll sign up 5 people. Guess how many people I had sign up every month? Rob, 5. 5 months later, sponsored 25. Within 6 or 7 months, I did 37. It was done. Done. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. You sell homes, there is no end. It's complete sheer madness. I'm gonna give it.
That's right. That's right. So, by the way, I've been quoted saying this several times. It is 10,000 times more difficult to go from 0 to 100 people in your revenue share group than it is to go from 100 to 10,000. Is that possibly true?
Yes.
There's a
Yeah.
momentum that occurs once you hit around 100 agents in your group. Is that right?
Yes.
And it's true
100%.
leverage, you guys. Dave Kennard said this to me. He said, revenue share is the only thing that I've ever discovered that increases my freedom and my income at exactly the same time.
Yep.
Let that sink in, you guys. You can increase your income in real estate sales. You truly can. All you have to do is work harder. You're going to pay for that additional income, aren't you? With what? With your freedom, with your time away from your loved ones, time away from your family. Guys, revenue share is a gift that I really want you to get a hold of. And that's what today is all about. Just do whatever it takes. Follow Brent's advice. That was brilliant, by the way, Brent. That got me fired up, man. I'm thinking, who can I take to breakfast tomorrow? Seriously, I'm
I
ready.
got it for these two, Rob and Gene. Love them.
Okay, Rob Flick, number one strategy.
I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go
Okay.
next, Robbie, because I gotta get out of
Yeah.
here in about 5 minutes. Sorry, I'm gonna pop
Go
off.
ahead.
Rob,
Sure,
you
go
can
ahead.
take it after that. Here's my biggest advice. Are you committed or not? Just write it down. Are you committed? I mean, I had appointments 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday for 2 years. Just so you know, I'm just telling you guys, schedule it. Now, how does that work? Find a spot, not Starbucks, where it's really noisy. Just find a spot where you can, like you said, break bread with them. Rob had one in Dallas. I saw his. I had mine in Austin. And I would make sure I'd have appointments, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock. Here's the thing, guys. Set it up. My first month, 20 agents. My second month, 10 agents. 30 agents in 2 months creates momentum. That's all I'm telling you. It's that simple, but are you committed? Are you committed to 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock? By the way, it was just my life. I didn't set it early because guess what? I didn't want to have to deal with that Austin traffic, Sean. You know, I wanted to get to I did it on my own time, right? When I wanted to do it. So commit to it, just do it. Even if it was 10 o'clock every morning, 5 days a week, would their lives change, Sean, or what?
Huh.
I mean, come
Quickly,
on,
very quickly.
create momentum. So that's all I'm going to say. Schedule it, commit to it, go for it, guys. And I love y'all. I'm sorry I can't stay on this, but Sean, what a pleasure to be with you guys for a little bit. And love all you guys. See you, Robbie.
Gene.
See you,
Bye,
my friend.
Gene.
Take care.
Bye, Gene.
I'm out of here.
What a stud that guy is, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Rob, number one strategy, recruiting.
I like to get together with them face to face. So when I'm like Brent said, I look for energy. I want to see a high level of energy. If I don't see a high level of energy, I generally don't see a high level of attitude or a high level of work ethic. If I don't see, great energy, and I want to see positive energy, not negative energy. And I'm always looking for that. And I want to look at them. I want to look at them face to face. And so, like Gene says, and like what Brent said, I always wanted to get together with them personally and either, like you said, break bread or have coffee. My place, mine was Panera Bread because they had great internet. They didn't bother you or come to you, and it was quiet generally. And I would talk to them, and I was looking for a pain point in their life. And I would say to them, I just want to talk to you about real estate. And I could learn I wanted to look for a bond, a commonality, something that we could happen within 30 seconds to a couple of minutes, where I could feel their energy and if there was a bond. And one of the things I would ask them is, can you play a little game with me? And they would look at me funny. And I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is awesome and 1 is bad, what grade would you give your real estate career right now? Not for me, but for you. And most people said 6 or 7. Almost everybody said 6 or 7. And I said, okay, well, what would make it a 10? And they would say, most of the time they would say, I want to sell more houses. If I'd like to sell 20 houses or 30 more houses, like Brent was saying earlier. And I said, that sounds to me like you just want to work harder. And they said, no, what does that mean, sell more houses? And they said, well, I want to make more money. I said, well, then say that. I want to make more money, right? Be very, very specific. And I said, what happens when you stop selling houses? What is your income at that point when you stop selling houses? Because you've been in real estate for 15 years now, or 12 or 20, whatever. And if you stop selling houses today, what would your income be going forward? Almost every one of them is zero, or $200 or $300 because they have a couple of rentals. That's it. And then I would say, so what would make it a 10? And they would write it down. I said, well, what would make it even better than that? A 10 plus. And I would hear what they say. And then I would say to them, who in the last 30, 60, or 90 days at your current company has sat down with you and devised a plan for you to get your 10 plus business and your 10 plus life? And they look at me, because I don't know them. This is like the first time I've ever met them, right? And they say, well, what is it you do? And I said, my specialty is helping people like you with the great energy to get a 10 plus life plan and then put it together. And if you're interested in that, I need 20 minutes of your time to talk about it. And if you're really sharp, you'll say, okay, now, because we're here together, or I can set up a time next week that we can get together and go over it. And when people know, what I found was that people are curious at that point. They want to know, okay, well, how do you do that? How are you putting it together? And I tell them my story too. I said, at one time I was doing exceptionally well in real estate, and then I got cancer, ended up going into the hospital, spent a couple of years in and out of hospitals, lost everything, went bankrupt. You never know when something's going to happen to you. And so I decided that I wanted to develop a residual income, a passive income, a six-figure. It was hard to imagine a seven-figure, but I could say a six-figure residual income, so that I don't have to be in that position again, right? And I say, tell me what are the top, and I know that most millionaires have 7 to 10 different income streams. Can you share with me your top 4? And they would go, well, I work, my wife works, I have, and I go, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what have you set up and designed, and that's what I'm all about. And I would like to get together and talk with you about it. And you've got the energy to do it, and I think it could be a really great thing. And that was it. But I also fire people, because if they don't want to, talk and say, why are you asking me this? What's the point? Their energy is wrong. I'm just as happy not to show them. I don't want drama. I tell them I'm looking for drama-free people to be in my life. It appears that you're drama-free. Is that true? I ask them. And
by the way, if you asked 100 people, are you drama-free? How many of them would say, of course I am. I'm drama-free.
No, that's a great thing to try. I don't know, but I've asked them all. Some people say, well, no, I'd like to get rid of it, or most of the time I don't, have it. But I always wanted to know about them. I wanted to find what they like about it, what they don't like about real estate. And the one, as Brent talks about all the time, and I've said this to almost every one of them, you can list 40 houses this year and you'll have to work the rest of your life. If you sponsor 40 agents into EXP, you have the potential of never having to work again the rest of your life, if you want. And I said, the fact that you're not with EXP tells me you don't understand that concept. So I need to show you what that means.
Wow.
And
That was
pure
gold. That was pure gold right there, Rob. Powerful. Okay, so we talked about your number one strategy around recruiting, right? That question just came in. How do you set the initial appointment? Well, frankly, you just ask. I mean, you just have to, and I'm going to quote Brent Gove here just for a second. He said, the more you risk your ego, the bigger your bank account balance gets. I love that one, Rob. Thank you for sharing that with me. See, so many people are just afraid to ask, are you open to investigating a new brokerage model that'll have a profound impact on your net income, your net worth? A brokerage that's going to compensate you with stock awards, and part of this is residual, excuse me, and passive income. Let me just ask, if I could put an extra $20,000 in your bank account in the next 12 months, by the way, doing nothing different than you're doing right now, would it be worth just 20 minutes of your time? Forgive me. Okay, next. Let's talk about retention strategy. Go.
Well, one thing, if I can just go real quick, I'll just be quick. My retention strategy when I talk to people is I want to find out their dream board. I want to know what moves them and motivates them and why they're doing what they're doing. Why are you in real estate? Why is making money important to you? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do with that money? And I know what their dream is, and I send them pictures. I will actually mail them pictures of their dream, whatever that is, if I can do that. And whenever I find them feeling low, which happens in real estate, I bring up their dream. I bring up why they're doing what they're doing, how we're working together. And I say, how can I help you? Let's go hand in hand. Let's go talk to somebody. Get somebody on the phone with me. Get somebody together with me that we can have coffee. Send a text to 10 of your real estate friends and say, I'm sitting here at the Panera Bread with a good buddy of mine, and we're talking about some really interesting things in real estate. Can you come by in the next 5 minutes? And just text it to 10 or 15 people. Well, one or two of them almost always have availability and show up. And then we can go through that little scenario again that I had done with them, in the first time. So I want to find out their why, and then I want to keep putting their why in front of them. And then I want to have them have fun. Like we said, Gene says, making real estate have fun again. Brent, his enthusiasm, doing things with people, breaking bread, playing golf, becoming interested in their life, that makes a big deal. They don't want to leave somebody that they feel they have a bond with. You've got to create some sort of bond, in my opinion, that because when I talk to people that say, oh, I'd really like to come, but I don't want to leave my broker. He's been so wonderful to me. It says, yeah, but would your wife or your husband say the same thing if I was showing you how you could double and triple your income, less time and effort, and have a higher rate of return? Would your spouse say, what's going on at the office? No, you need to make this change.
That's right. And that broker is probably not going to pay for their retirement, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's
Not
true.
the way EXP will. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Brent, retention, number one strategy.
I'm going to hit on retention, but before I hit it, I just want to say something. I'm looking at some of the advice I see in the chat bar. It's awesome. And people are so fired up, and most of it is spot on, but some of it I could not disagree with less. There's some really bad advice being given in the chat bar by well-meaning people who are super excited. And I'm reading some of their advice. I'm like, oh, do the opposite. And so, I don't want to get into who it was, but they're super excited too, and they're giving out really bad advice. So those of you out there, be really careful who you're listening to. Make sure they've got the fruit on the tree, that they sponsored 40, 50, 60, 70 agents, that they have a large organization. When people love to give advice, but when when you find out how many of you sponsored, 3, none, I have no group, but they're out there telling you how to do it, and you copy them and you have no group. Be very, very careful with that. Just FYI, whatever that was worth.
That's true. That's very true.
Also, I don't want to point it out because they know who it was, and I don't want to embarrass anyone, but be careful there. Okay, so retention. We put together how to become a listing powerhouse and invite somebody in who's good at that. If that's you, great. Well, I'm new. Find out who's good and say, hey, we're going to do an event. We'd love you to be one of our guest speakers. People will do it. You get 2 or 3 strong listing EXP agents in your area, and then say it's not about EXP, make it all about listing, lead generating for listing. And we're not going to talk about EXP. Then you get 100 to 300 people there. And it's called a soft recruiting event. We would do it at Keller Williams all the time. Business planning for 2022. Those all should be happening in September, October, November, December. You could do it over the next 4 months. You could bring in Shon Kokoszka, bring him to Boston, he'll come out, bring 200, 300, 400, get him in there. And someone said, well, don't bring Shon out, because I brought Shon out and Shon sponsored him. Look, people we'll call Shon and go, we'll say, are you working with anybody? Nope. And every once in a while it happens, but because it happened one time, everyone thinks Shon's a bad guy. People have done it to me. Are you talking to anybody? No. And I've sponsored some people, and maybe they talk to somebody. I do my best when I find somebody. If they're working, I send them back every single time. But like, oh, don't go to that business planning clinic that Brent said. We bust our tail to do the right thing at every move. I used Rob Flick's video constantly. That's how I sponsored all my people, right? And sponsored 48 people. And Rob didn't sponsor my people, but if someone says, well, I did that, Rob got one, so I'm not, so therefore I'm gonna do it. Do you have 10,000 hours of mastery? Are you a master communicator? Because Rob Flick is, Shon Kokoszka is, and I am after decades of doing it. Do not make your own presentation unless you've been at this for 10,000 years. You're crazy, and you're not gonna have the results you get. Individually, one-on-one, if you want to go through the slides and do your thing, but I would press play. I would press play on Gene's 3 napkin on this, and you might lose some of it. I'm just being straight up. But retention is making it fun when you go to EXP, pull them together in your room. I got 20 people. I was in Gene's room that now represents probably what, Rob, 50,000 people at EXP. And we were in his room, king size bed, all doing a rock the comatose.
Yeah, I remember.
40 people jammed in his room, and now that turned into 50,000. How about you put 20 in your room, and then in Cabo, you put 50 in your room, and they come to your room, you pop some Martinelli champagne, whatever, you know, or the real stuff, sparkling wine, and create that energy. Do fun things, cabin trips, beach trips, picnics, create buyer clinics, listing clinics, invite speakers in. You don't have to do it. And you can make excuses or get on with it. So I would say get on with it.
I totally agree. Okay, next, revenue. Just real quick. What are you doing to help the agents increase their per agent production?
You want to go first, Rob, or you want me to tackle it?
Why don't you go? Because I have not been involved in helping them.
Right. Okay, we're constantly putting on events. Like I said, we bring in, Sean, have you been to Sacramento? He doesn't remember, but yes,
no, I do. Yeah, in fact, it was in Rockland, wasn't it?
Rob's been to Sacramento, right?
Yes.
I remember.
Gene's been to Sacramento. I'm inviting people is going to be coming to Sacramento. I just had Kyle Whistle come. Well, that's because you're special. No, it's because I asked people to come. People ask me, and I can't go everywhere, but ask maybe. George Philback asked me to go to Orlando. I'll be in Orlando in 2 weeks. Yes, I'm there. Right? I can't get everywhere, but ask. You get speakers. You go, okay, so-and-so's not too far away. Kyle Whistle's just a $49 flight away, and I knew he wanted to go to Napa. So it says, I'll take you to Napa. We went to the French Laundry, Rob, and Rob brought me to the French Laundry a few years ago. It was very special. And so we did that with Kyle and his wife, and he loved it. So create events, bribe your speakers with, we're by Yosemite, we're by Niagara Falls, we're taking them in. Use what you got, right? The Grand Canyon, I'll fly you in a helicopter over the Grand Canyon. If you're out in Arizona, the Hoover Dam, I don't know, whatever you think excites people, but get speakers in, create cool things. And as far as getting their price of the home up, I mean, that happens in the events. I really, Sean, and this is going to be controversial. One of my star agents who's just on fire, he this particular agent, I'm not going to say his name, he goes, I'm going to list 100 homes this year. And I about threw up in my mouth. I have never been so mad. I looked at him, I go, are you kidding me? You don't even, what? I go, don't you dare list one more home. He's already selling 60, he's trying to do 40 more. I go, how about go sponsor 20 or 30 more agents? You could work hard to get that extra 40, get to 100 and ring a bell you've always wanted to ring. Forget it. That ladder's against the wrong wall. That is the wrong activity. Go list 20 or 30 agents, help your group go. And he did that. He now has 2,800 agents. And so what I tell people all the time is sell less homes on purpose. I cut my production in half. My production to create what's called margin. If you're trying to go from 100 to 200, but I want to impress everybody, how about you just get on the phone and call somebody? Well, they won't respect me. I'm going to come right to the doggone thing and talk to you. Vincent St. Louis has never sold a home. He made some calls, signed up 27 people, 57 years old. He now has 400. He has no credibility, never sold a home, doesn't know boo about nothing, but he'll outsell every single person on this webinar. Not one of you will sell as many homes as Vincent St. Louis. He has 400 in his group. They're all in San Francisco and San Jose. Let's say 100 of them sell a home a month. 300 have zero production, but 100 sell a home. His average sales price is 1.3 million. How much is he doing a month? 100 million a month. What will Vincent St. Louis sell this year? 1.2 million. But the problem is the other 300 are selling stuff. He'll do a couple billion. He knows nothing about real estate. Stop it. You do not have to build a $200, $300, $400, $500 million team. I disagree. How about, you know, which effort you're going to put into doing all people to respect me? Like, you're just kicking the can down the road because you're not willing to risk your ego. This is an ego risk. Your ego's so big. You protect your little ego. Stop it. Get messy, get muddy. I got out there every day. I didn't like it either, but I did it, man. And you could, like, it's just over in 90 days. It's over. It's going to take you to build a $100 million team. It's going to take you 6 months or a year if you're the rock star of rock stars, and probably 2 years to never. And you're so busy doing that, you are distracted. Stop it. Risk your ego. This is an ego risk, not a capital risk. This is not about risking it. I'll buy a franchise because they don't want to risk their ego. Oh, here's like 200,000. Anything but someone rejecting me. Come on, man. Think of your kids, think of your wife, think of your dreams, and get on the phone and suck it up. Don't cold call. I'm not talking about cold calling. Well, I don't know anyone. Okay, so wouldn't it make sense? You better get out there and go to Mike Ferry, go to Remax. I'm not a Remax agent. You can still go to the convention. I'm not go to stuff, meet people, make a list, and get on with your life. Okay, I'm done.
No, just keep going. Come on, keep going. Okay.
You know what I've told people, I believe what Brent has said, and I tell people, do as many agent presentations as you do listing presentations. If you want to stay balanced, you know, you don't want to be one way or the other. Your freedom is going to come from rev share and stock. Your freedom is not going to come from selling houses, but you have to sell houses now, in the now, to pay your bills, to make things work. People have to sell houses. They don't have to sell 1,000. They can sell 20. And if that's enough to pay their bills and go, and this is my opinion, is there's nothing they can do more impactful for the future financial wellness of their family than to personally enroll a producing agent. And that agent doesn't have to be doing $100 million in sales. I was very, very happy to find agents that were selling 1 million or 2 million, you know, that because they know other agents that are doing 1 million or 2 million. And I knew that if I had 500 agents that were all doing 1 million and they're grossing 30,000 a month, and we get 3.5% of that, or about 800 to $1,000. And if you've got 500 of them, you're going to make $500,000 a year in revenue share, passive income. That's simple. This is the simplest, it's almost the easiest thing I've ever seen, but it's certainly, the simplicity of it is astounding. If you will just do as many presentations for agents as you do for listings, your life will change in time. If you do 5 times as many presentations for agents as you do listing presentations, your life will rapidly change. But I know that of the 3 of us were very out of balance. I did 3 and 4 presentations a day, every day for 2 years. And that is what set it up. And I look for the excited person. I look for when I met Brent, I lost my voice doing presentations for him. And you know, in the beginning, when I first started, all my presentations were one-on-ones because I didn't have anybody. I had no team. It was just me. I had to go get them. Then when I had enough people, I started doing lunch and learns so that I could have, you know, a massive group. We could get bigger duplication in. So I would suggest start with one-on-ones, but get lunch and learns as fast as you can. People who are busy like systems. They want to know, I can send somebody to the same place at the same time to learn about it, and I can leverage. Busy people want to leverage, so I show them leverage. And we were doing lunch and learns. Then when Brent come aboard, Brent's on the other side of the country from where I am. I couldn't be doing lunch and learns for that. So all of a sudden we started doing webinars. Well, webinars increased the speed by light speed. Unbelievable. And we went from one-on-ones to lunch and learns to webinars to being able to do presentations, you know, online, to be able to do. Then we started doing regional training events like what Brent just got through. The first one we did, I had 50 real estate agents. 4 years ago, I had 50 real estate agents, and I think Brent was there for that. And we started, we couldn't believe that we had so many in a room. Oh my God, this is going to be big someday. And then next year it was 200, and then it was 500, then it was 1,000. And then this last week, I don't know, it was 6,000 or 7,000. So what's happening is it's the progression that you want to bring people to the system. You want them, people make big decisions at big events. There's no question, right? And if you've got a lot of people and they see and feel the excitement, they ain't ever going to get that at the company where they're at, because there's no ownership. There's no passive income being developed and devised. And if it is, it's very small. But when you have a room full of people that are making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in income, knowing that in their mind they could make $100,000 a month with a little more effort, that's very, very true. And you said the truth. Going from 0 to 100 on your team is harder than going from 100 to 1,000 because you've got people to work with. And when duplication goes in, I knew this was going to work the first time I checked my group and I found someone that I didn't know that name. I had never talked to them. I didn't invite them. I didn't show them the presentation. I didn't follow up with them. Somebody joined and I had nothing to do with it. I knew that it had started, that duplication was taking effect, that if one could join by themselves without me, 1,000 of them could, then 10,000 of them could, then 100,000. That's exactly what I saw. And we just took it step by step by step by step. And it depends on now we didn't have any stories. We didn't have anybody that was making any big money. So we had to create stories, right? And the guys like Brent comes along and creates a fantastic story. I know he's dying to pass me. And I think someday he will. I believe that will happen. I may be a lot older, but it will happen. There's no question. That's a zoom, Brent. It's going to happen.
I know.
And there's people out there that are looking at Brent saying, I can do what Brent did. I can make that bigger. I'm excited. I look forward to the day when I can say, I have people on my team that came after me that are doing better than me. I can't say that yet, but it's coming because I want to be able to say timing, the best time is now. Don't think about it later. Did you miss it? No, you didn't miss it. We are just barely above a pimple on a dog's butt compared to where we're going to be,
Right.
Because there are thousands and thousands of people getting their real estate licenses every year that don't know about any company, that are going to be the future rookies of the year, that are going to be future megastars. There are people that are joining the real estate industry that don't know about, that's coming. I'm told there's something like 5 to 10 million real estate agents in the world somewhere. We will have 1 million of them. And don't wait until we have 1 million till you get started. You can only judge what you do. You can't judge what the reactions are. You can't judge what the results are. You can only do the activities. If you're going to sponsor 2 people a month, if you just did that and everybody on your team did that, you would pass me in time. If you got everybody just doing that, you can't do it. And so if you're going to get 2 people a month sponsored minimum, then your numbers may be different than me. You may have to show it to 25 people to get 2. Brent may have to show it to 5 people to get 2. He may only have to show it to 2 to get 2. But whatever the numbers are, they're your numbers. Know what your numbers are, and then and judge your actions accordingly for what you need to do based on what your numbers are. And the more you do this, the better you will get at it, just like anything. Brent was right on when he said, until you've got 10,000 hours in this deal, you're just getting started. What you want to do is leverage with the best people there is. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just jump on in and try not to fall off. Make this thing happen in a very big way. I'm excited too, Brent. I think it's going to be a big deal.
I love it. The last point that I wanted to discuss was, how do you get the agents into reproduction? What do you do to get them excited about EXP? How do you get them to set up that 3-way call for you? What do you do?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Right,
I'll
go
go.
ahead.
So, I start with the basics. Again, make the list, do your wealth chart, get your vision board. We did all that like in 3 days. Some of you have been here 3 years, you don't have a list of 100 names. You like, oh, I don't know anybody. Stop. It's madness. You haven't gone to the Safeway or the grocery store and bought magazines of financial debt-free savings, retirement, travel magazines. Why? Build a vision board. Do you want a cabin in the mountains? Do you want it doesn't have to be Lear jets and Rolex watches. It could just be a family walking on the beach, symbolizes freedom. And I have pictures of stuff like that. And guess what? I was walking on the beach this morning here in the Caribbean with my wife, and my kids are here. It's amazing. But do the basics. And then, people, you got to activate yourself. Do you feel responsible for people? Nope, never have. You got to buck up and do what it takes to make the calls. So I just encourage people, carve out the time. Like Gene said, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. So what day, right now, actionable items, what day are you going to make calls? What day are you going to put on your big boy pants, your big girl pants? And risk your ego and have people sometimes hurt people. They'll say mean, stupid, dumb stuff to you. You ever called the expireds? You ever door knocked? You ever dealt with a nasty seller or buyer? Have empathy for them. Don't be offended by them, but have empathy for them. But I'm just telling you, the people we know who built big companies were the attractors, the builders, the Christies, the Sotheby's, right? The Berkshire Hathaway, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, Dave Liniger, the people who built real estate companies. These are the people. This is what you finally get to do, not just be a salesperson, and your revenue share will grow. And so I just encourage you to get out there and to activate yourself and set goals. Like, I'm gonna talk to somebody every day if it kills me. You got all day tomorrow. Are you brave enough to call one person? It's a cup of courage. Text them. And they go, yeah, call me. You're like, oh no, it's on now. And if you mess it up, that's how you learn. Massive action creates results. But if you do it so little, I had a guy call me last week. I'm not putting him down. If you're watching this, I love you. And he goes, would you coach me? I've been with EXP a year and a half. I was a Marine sergeant in the Marines. And it sounded like he's 30, and he goes, I'll follow orders, but he won't give himself orders to follow. He goes, I just need you to tell me what to do. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Coaching moment, like Shon Kokoszka would say. I said, how many people have you talked to in the last year and a half, your best month? How many people? He goes, 2 to 3. I go, a day? He goes, no, for the entire month. I go, there's your problem. You know what I mean? There's your problem. You come out to Puerto Rico, but I'm having coffee with my breakfast with my wife after we're golfing tomorrow morning, right? You're not going to see anything. I did it all 4 or 5 years ago, right? And then now it just grows and it goes exponentially. It was like, remember, Rob, 10 people a month, and then 20 people a month, and then 1 a day. God, please, 1 a day, 30 a month, 360 agents a year. That's $250,000 a year in rev share. And at that pace, within 3 years, it's 750,000 a year of cash flow. But the problem is then it goes to 60 a month and 100 a month. And then it goes to 200 a month and 300 a month and 400 a month. And then you
500,000 a month. Then it goes to 600 and 1,000 a month. Yes, you're right.
I know. And then what happens is you drop your phone, and the last 30 days, unpaid revenue share, $1 million. But I dropped my phone. Anyways, here's the deal. It's a little crazy. That's not for the year. I asked my wife, she goes, what do you think it'll be next year? She goes, it'll double and triple. And it's not about us. It's about you guys. And you're not too late. It's the elephant in the room. There are 900,000+ coming. And you could say whatever you want. 3 years ago, people said I'm too late. 2 years ago, people said I'm too late. A year ago, people said, Gail DeMarco, good RE/MAX agent in El Dorado Hills, suburb of Sacramento. Rob, you know where that is.
Yep.
She went to Scottsdale 3 days notice. She went to Scottsdale. She's like, what's that? She goes, I'm kite surfing. I go, you're not kite surfing. She goes, oh, I'm kite surfing. It's a very expensive lesson, $750, non-refundable. I'm kite surfing. I go, let me ask you a question. If you could get your money back, would you come to Scottsdale? She goes, yeah, good. Okay, good. I'm paying for that lesson, which you're not going to take. And you're going to buy your tickets to Scottsdale tonight. You're going to buy your registration, your hotel room, and you're coming to Scottsdale, that event we did last May. She's like, okay, I see the potential, but what is this agent attraction stock thing? She went with 3 days notice, got so lit. She showed up at Dallas with 30 people, all cappers, all like super. So she brought 30. So how long have you been in this thing? What's your excuse? Here's your excuse. You won't risk your ego. You won't do the work. She's on fire. Those 30 are going to bring 100 to Las Vegas. Those 100 are going to bring 200 or 300 to Cabo. And that is, you promote the events. The people sponsor the people, and people take that 12-inch drop from their head to their heart. So I just want to say that, and that's where it is. So I mean, the question I could end with all of you, actionable item, do you have your ticket for EXPCon in Las Vegas, November 9th, 10th, 11th? I do. Do you have your room? I got one. It's called the Hangover Suite because it hangs over the building, and it's this giant suite. And I found out later that I'm so naive and gullible. Apparently, it's the movie Hangover. It's the Hangover Suite in the movie The Hangover. It's just called the Hangover. It doesn't hang over the building, but it's just this. It looked cool, and so I rented the Hangover Suite for 5 days. I've never seen the movie, but apparently that's kind of funny. And so we're going to be there. But I'm there. Which ones did you go to? All of them. I'm serious about this. Oh, that's a lot. That's extreme. Really, I was in Dallas in August. I'll be in Las Vegas in November. I'll be in Cabo in March. Oh, so much work. Oh my gosh, you kidding? Be in Las Vegas and bring people. I brought 19 people to see what I saw to my first event for EXP. I need you to bring 19 people to Las Vegas. probably 14 had sponsored and about 5 guests. I got them all there. I had to help pay for half airline ticket, put them in a room with somebody else, guys with guys, gals with gals, and hey, share a room. It's $89 a night. I did what it took. I got them to the event, made it affordable for them. And those 19 went, wow, like Gail. And so you can talk about it, but I'm tired of, your action speaks so loud I can hardly hear what you're saying. That's what your spouse is saying to you. Man, that's why in the movie Peanuts or Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, the kids talk, you hear them, but the adults talk, it's wah, 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 because it's boring. Don't be boring. Go be successful. We love you. Rob, you're amazing. Shon, you're amazing. Thanks for having me on today. Was this good? And all
Love
that
it, guys. Love it. Congratulations. And thank you guys for taking such a long time out of your busy schedules. I mean, if I added up your hourly wage, how much you just spent to be with us, thank you so much, you guys. I really, really, from the bottom of my heart. You've changed my life. You've changed my life. You made this fun again. Thank you.
We'll invoice you, Shon.
There you go. Please. By the way, if maybe you guys want some help, just go to brentgove.com. Check out his stuff there. Go to iconcoaching.com. Check out our stuff there. We got scripts, we got dialogues, we got programs, we got everything that can.
I want to say something for you, Shon. They talked about retention. I plug people into a 16-week production class all the time. It's like $350. I sponsor people, put them in, sponsor people, put them in, sponsor people, put them in all the time. Shon, how often do I say, hey, meet Rob Flick. He's an amazing agent. He's selling 20 homes a year, but we want to get him to 30. It's a 16-week course, an hour once a week Zoom. You didn't ask me to do this. I'm just throwing it out there. I do it 2, 3, 4 times a week. Do I not call, put it on my Amex card, put it on my Amex card, put it on my Amex card. I plug them in and I got homes in escrow. They're getting into production, which helps with retention. And so that's Shon's 16-week brand new written rocking class from top agents. $350 for 16 weeks of nurturing that I don't have to do so I can go golfing tomorrow morning.
There you go.
Find out about that.
Brent. You go golfing. I love it. Fantastic. We do have a course on attraction as well. Check it out at iconcoaching.com. You won't be sorry. You guys, thank you again. Really, from the bottom of my heart. Let's do this again in 6 months, can we?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do it, man. I can't wait to hear you're over 25 or 30,000, Rob. And you'll be catching Rob by then. I can't wait. Thank you again, guys. Thank you all for being
Take
here.
care, Brent.
Look forward to
Love you, man. Thank you for changing my life. Both you guys. You guys are awesome.
Brent.
Love everybody
care.
online.
Thanks,
Go get
Shon.
them, everyone.